Welcome to US Briefing. JPEX case challenges Hong Kong's regulatory skill. SCMP opinion. The collapse of JPEX, an unlicensed virtual assets platform in Hong Kong, has raised concerns about the city's regulatory framework for cryptocurrencies. The platform, which defied local authorities and issued statements despite lacking regulatory approval, recently faced a 1.43 billion Hong Kong dollars fraud scandal. The Securities and Futures Commission, SFC, has stated that it lacked the power to act decisively on JPEX due to its operation outside its regulatory jurisdiction. However, questions have been raised about whether the SFC did enough to prevent the scam. The incident has damaged Hong Kong's reputation and prompted a re-evaluation of the city's approach to virtual assets. How climate change threatens some of the world's most coveted real estate. CNN. The recent heavy rainfall in Hong Kong resulting in landslides and the evacuation of 3 homes in the Red Hill Peninsula area is a stark reminder that climate change is rewriting the rules of construction. Despite Hong Kong's strict building codes, the homes were built on a cliffside location that was vulnerable to the erosion of the soil. In addition, the authorities have suggested that illegal alterations made to the homes, such as basements, a swimming pool and a 3-story extension, may have contributed to the disaster. The heavy rainfall caused landslides and flooding across the city. Climate change will make such weather events more frequent in the future, according to experts. The suggestion of illegal alterations to the homes has fueled accusations of a 2-tiered system, with wealthy individuals and politicians getting away with violations of building codes that would not be tolerated by the less well-off. DeSantis says Ukraine joining NATO isn't in best interest of U.S. South China Morning Post. Republican U.S. presidential candidate Ron DeSantis has said he opposes NATO membership for Ukraine, stating that he does not believe it is in the United States' security interest. DeSantis argued that NATO membership would only add more obligations for the U.S. without sufficient benefits in return. He also reiterated his position that the U.S. should not provide unconditional support to Ukraine unless it is using leverage to resolve the conflict. DeSantis's comments come after President Joe Biden met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and pledged military assistance to Ukraine in its fight against Russia's invasion. However, future aid will need to be approved by Congress. Nevada Republicans have approved rules for their presidential caucus seen as helping Donald Trump. Associated Press. The Nevada Republican Party has approved rules for their presidential caucus that could potentially benefit former President Donald Trump. The rules would prevent any candidate from participating in the caucus if they take part in the state-run primary 2 days earlier. They would also limit the influence of super PACs in supporting candidates during the caucus. The move reflects Trump's influence and status as the frontrunner in Nevada, where the state GOP is led by his allies. The decision could lead to confusion among Republican voters as 2 presidential nominating processes occur within a 3-day period. Nevada Republicans have set rules for their presidential caucus seen as helping Donald Trump. The Independent. The Nevada Republican Party has approved rules for its presidential caucus that many campaigns believe are designed to help former President Donald Trump secure the state's GOP delegates. Under the provisions, any candidate participating in the state-run primary 2 days earlier would be barred from the caucus, while super PACs would be restricted from bolstering support for candidates. The moves reflect Trump's influence over state parties and his status as the frontrunner. Many state Republican parties changed their rules ahead of the 2020 election to benefit frontrunners, sometimes causing intra-party strife. Harper's 20th homer sparks Phillies to 7-5 come-from-behind win over Mets. Associated Press. The Philadelphia Phillies secured their 4th straight win on Saturday, defeating the New York Mets 7-5. Bryce Harper hit his 20th home run of the season, marking the 9th time he has reached that milestone in his career. The win puts the Phillies 4 games ahead of the Arizona Diamondbacks for the top wild-card spot in the National League. With a win on Sunday and a loss by either the Chicago Cubs or Miami Marlins, the Phillies will secure a playoff berth. Saudi Crown wins $1 million Pennsylvania Derby on sloppy track. Associated Press. Saudi Crown won the $1 million Pennsylvania Derby by half a length on a sloppy track at Parks Racing. The horse, ridden by jockey Florent Geroux, led the entire race and held off a late challenge from Dreamlike. The victory marked Saudi Crown's first career Grade 1 stakes win. Trained by Brad Cox, Saudi Crown ran 1 1/8 miles in 1 minute and 50.62 seconds. The horse is a son of 2017 Kentucky Derby winner Always Dreaming. Cox said Saudi Crown may run in the Breeders' Cup Classic in November. Braverman questions whether international migration rules are fit for purpose. The Independent. UK Home Secretary Sala Braverman has suggested that international rules may need to be revised to address the migrant crisis. In a speech in the US, Braverman questioned whether legal frameworks designed over half a century ago are still fit for purpose in an age of jet travel and smartphones. She warned that a failure to tackle the problem would undermine the democratic legitimacy of political institutions. Braverman has previously called for the UK to leave the European Convention on Human Rights, a move criticized by opponents who argue it would breach the 1951 United Nations Refugee Convention. Representative Andy Kim will challenge Menendez in primary for Senate seat. Washington Post. Democratic Representative Andy Kim has announced he will challenge Senator Robert Menendez, Democrat New Jersey, in the 2024 primary after Menendez was accused of being at the center of a wide-ranging corruption scheme. Kim is one of a growing number of lawmakers who have called for Menendez to step down after an indictment made public on Friday alleged that he took hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribes, including in gold bars, in exchange for exerting influence for the benefit of businessmen in New Jersey and the Egyptian government. Former President Jimmy Carter rides through Georgia Peanut Fest. Reuters. Former U.S. President Jimmy Carter and former First Lady Rosalind Carter attended a festival in Georgia on Saturday, according to a tweet from the Carter Center. The couple, both in their 90s, were driven through Plains, Georgia, the former president's hometown, to attend the annual Peanut Festival. Carter, who left office in 1981, has lived longer after leaving the White House than any other former president in U.S. history. In recent years, he has faced health issues including melanoma, but has responded well to treatment. In February, the Carter Center announced that he would receive hospice care and spend his remaining time at home with his family. Menendez gains a primary opponent as calls for his resignation grow after indictment. Associated Press. Democratic Senator Bob Menendez is facing calls to step down following his indictment on corruption charges. The New Jersey senator and his wife, Nadine, were indicted on Friday on multiple counts of bribery relating to their use of his position to aid Egypt and to pressure prosecutors to drop a case against a friend. Menendez was previously indicted in 2015, but the case ended with a deadlocked jury. To claim the throne, Lachlan Murdoch gave up his independence and his relationship with his brother. ABC. Rupert Murdoch has announced that his eldest son, Lachlan, will succeed him as the head of his media empire. Lachlan, who is 50 years old, has been groomed for the role since childhood, attending prestigious schools and being involved in his father's business from a young age. He has also gained experience in the media industry, including a stint as CEO and chairman of Network 10 in Australia. Lachlan's appointment comes after years of speculation about who would take over from Murdoch, and follows the resignation of his younger brother, James, from the family business last year. Lachlan's appointment as successor to Murdoch raises questions about the future direction of the media empire. Some believe that Lachlan is likely to continue his father's conservative agenda and maintain the company's right-wing media outlets, such as Fox News. However, others suggest that he may take a more moderate approach and focus on expanding the company's digital operations. It is also unclear how Lachlan's appointment will affect the dynamics between him and his siblings, particularly James, who was previously seen as the heir apparent. The appointment of Lachlan as Murdoch's successor comes at a time of significant change in the media industry. Traditional media companies are facing increasing competition from digital platforms, and there is growing public scrutiny of the role that media companies play in shaping public opinion. Lachlan's leadership will be closely watched to see how he navigates these challenges and whether he can maintain the influence and profitability of the Murdoch empire in the years to come. Sergei Lavrov dismisses Ukraine's peace plan and rails against the West, as another missile attack hits Crimea. ABC. Russia's foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov, has dismissed Ukraine's proposed peace plan as not realistic and accused Western powers of effectively entering direct war against Moscow by supporting Ukraine. Lavrov made the comments at a press conference at the UN headquarters in New York, where Ukraine and its Western allies were seeking support for Kyiv. He stated that the conflict in Ukraine would only be resolved on the battlefield if Ukraine and its Western allies continued to stick to their current stance. Angels' Tyler Anderson to finish season on IL with knee soreness. The Toronto Star. Los Angeles Angels left-hander Tyler Anderson will not start as scheduled on Sunday and will be placed on the injured list with left knee soreness, ending his first season with the Angels. Anderson was experiencing more soreness following a bullpen session on Friday. He ends the season with a 6-6 record, a 5.43 ERA, and 119 strikeouts in 141 innings. The Angels have not announced a starter for Sunday's game. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.